So if you're watching this right now, you might be struggling with depression, or you might be going through something where you're experiencing severe sadness. So first of all, I want to tell you, there's a light at the end of the tunnel. There always is. I am someone who has experienced depression several times in my life, and I was just there the past couple months. I can say I'm out of it now. I don't have everything figured out at all, any of the things that have been worrying me, but I am now at a place where I've regained my strength to move forward. So this is why I wanted to do this video, because I want to share all of the things that I've been doing that helped me get out of that state where I was in a complete debilitated state and complete sadness, and not being able to see beyond my worries and the things that were clouding my whole reality at that time. And of course, this isn't medical advice whatsoever, but I think that the best thing that I can do is share what has worked for me, and hopefully it will work for you as well, and give you the encouragement and motivation, because you can get out of this. And as soon as you start doing these things, I promise you, you're gonna start feeling better immediately. Before we dive in, hello, my name is Talia, and on this channel, I share spiritual teachings that help people transcend into new levels of consciousness so that ultimately you can grow your self-worth and start living a more authentic life. If that sounds interesting to you, please subscribe to this channel and give this video a like. Number one, the most important thing above all is mindset. Why is this so important? Because whatever you're going through, you need to want to get yourself out of this place. It's the most important thing. You could have all the top medicine in the world, all the top healthcare specialists, the most amazing therapy, whatever it is. But if you yourself are not willing, or don't have that true faith in yourself that you can get through this, little is gonna change. So first of all, you have to want it enough that you're like, you know what, I can do this, and it starts right now. If you know a little bit about neuroscience and how all this stuff works with the brain, that we create new neural pathways whenever we're learning something new, whenever we're having a new thought. Literally, our brains can create our own pharmacy of chemicals. You can create your own serotonin, your own dopamine, and it all starts with you, with your thoughts, and then followed by your emotions. So you have to kind of learn to train yourself to start feeling like, fuck yeah, I can get myself out of this. You know what? It's up to me. It's up to me only to get myself out of this place, because you can. Let me tell you my story and what I've been going through in the past few months. So earlier this year, I got laid off from my job at Google. I was there for 6.5 years, and it crushed me. Losing your job is probably one of the most shocking things you can go through. But I don't know, I was seeing it, even though it crushed me the first couple of weeks, then I was like, you know what, I think everything happens for a reason, right? So I was like, okay, maybe let me see if I can start doing my own thing, and I don't know, try to live a more authentic life, following my passions. I started this channel. So I was like super motivated, and then a few weeks later, my family, we find out that my brother has cancer. And that was pretty difficult as well. I haven't shared this on this channel before, but yeah, we've been going through that. And that sent me on another little, kind of journey there to try to process those emotions. And a few weeks from that, I'm getting better. I'm like, okay, you know what? He's getting the treatment that he needs. Obviously, it's been a lot. And then I keep doing my videos, and I'm like, you know what? Let's keep going. We're gonna go through. We're gonna get through this. And then all of a sudden, I start noticing kind of all the things that I need to start letting go in my life that are not good for me, because I felt the layoff happened because I was no longer aligned with that job. It happened after I had this awakening, and then I was like, you know what? Let me start thinking about what things are not good for me anymore. And then I decided to quit Adderall. I was taking Adderall, which is this medication for ADHD, which isn't very good for you, really. That's my personal opinion. A lot of people won't agree, but it makes your heart race. It gives you more anxiety. So anyway, I decided to quit. I also decided to quit the sleeping pills. And that came with a whole set of withdrawals. And then I started feeling completely depressed, completely anxious, and I started worrying about everything in my life. And I was like, what am I doing? I need to get a job. How do I think I'm gonna be able to figure out, my passion all on my own without really knowing what I'm doing or where I'm going? And I got completely debilitated to the point that I was not able to get out of bed for several days. I didn't even know at the time that I was getting withdrawals from the pills. Then I realized it and I was like, okay, maybe I just need to give myself time, right? To process whatever I'm feeling. And then there were all these thoughts and fears that were coming in about like, okay, now I need to start interviewing, and I didn't want to have to go back there, but I need to make money while I figure out what I want to do for my own business, or I don't know. I mean, I can still do my YouTube videos while I'm getting income, right? So it was like a whole process of accepting that. And so what I realized at that point was that I was kind of drowning in this anxiety, in this fear of thinking that I chose wrong, that I was letting myself down because I wanted to start my own business, and then now I decided I need to interview. But then it was like I was filling myself up with guilt when really nothing is black and white in this world. It doesn't have to be one thing or the other thing, right? You can have compassion for yourself and your own journey, and maybe do a little bit of both things while you figure out your way. So that's the mindset that I kind of started shifting, in that it doesn't have to be this or that, and that it's not that I'm letting myself down or letting down my personal beliefs, because I'm learning as I go, and as I'm learning, I'm sharing what I'm learning. And the other super important thing is that you have to trust on something bigger than you. And this is the main thing that's been getting me through this chapter, because if I didn't trust in something bigger, in God, in the universe, and whatever it is for you, I don't think I would have the strength to keep going, because then you're just trying to control everything. And if you're trying to control everything, you just get even more anxious, and that's not how it works in this planet, in this universe that we live in. It's always a constant co-creation with the universe. There's a flow to life, and you have to learn to surrender that and accept and embrace that things happen for a reason. So that is kind of what I started telling myself. I was like, I am in this deep hole right now, and I feel so much fear about my situation, the uncertainty and of my life. But I was like, I'm gonna choose to trust that there's something bigger, there's a bigger reason for everything that I'm experiencing. And so once I started doing that, I was like, okay, what can I start doing to get myself out? Because it was like one day I was better, or the other day I wasn't that good. And it was a constant, having to remind myself every single day. And so that leads me into the second thing, which is meditation. So meditation, you've probably heard it left and right, but why is it good? Why does it help so much? It's because it helps you get into that empowered state that you need to get yourself into. You can't sometimes just wake up and assume that you're gonna feel better. You have to make yourself feel better. And so that's why we go into meditation, to start feeling those emotions. First you ground. You have to ground yourself. You can do this by visualizing yourself kind of, you can start growing roots from the bottom, that's how I do it. I visualize myself growing roots all the way from the bottom, the lower part of my body, and then going all the way to the core of the earth. And then I visualize a light that is coming all the way from the top, from the sky. I also have a meditation, if you want to grab it, that is kind of walking you through this process. It's a 5-minute meditation that you can do early in the morning. I do longer meditations because I've been doing it for a while. You can also get this meditation in the description. But basically, yeah, you want to start visualizing yourself getting this love from God, from Source, from the universe, because you want to start feeling like there's something that is supporting you, that you're not alone in this, that you're being guided. And then you start feeling that emotion of how you want to feel, how you know you would feel if you weren't in this state. You can picture a time when you were feeling your best, and then connect with that emotion and know that you can feel like that again. You can bring yourself back to that empowered state. And then as you start practicing through your meditation, when you get out of your meditation, you have to remember to bring that feeling with you throughout your day. And this is literally the key with meditation, is that you start training your mind to remember a certain state of being. And then throughout the day, whenever you're feeling those thoughts that are pulling you down, they're bringing you down, you remember this other state of being, this elevated state of being. And then you say, you know what? I'm not gonna feel these lower states of emotion. I'm gonna choose to feel this other way because I deserve to feel this other way. And the more you do that, where you observe the negative thoughts coming in and you don't engage with them, you're not like, no, you don't try to fight them or push them away. Like you just observe, you recognize that they're there, but you choose differently. You choose to relate and engage with a different state of being. And something super important to remember is to accept your feelings. Feelings are there for a reason, even the negative ones. It's like if you hurt yourself, you fell and you have a cut. It hurts. That's your body's way of saying, hey, pay attention. Maybe I'm bleeding over here, so pay attention so that you can address the wound and cure it, and hopefully it doesn't get infected or something. So there's a reason for it. Similarly with our emotions, just, yes, it's not comfortable. But if you start embracing them, actually, there's a reason why you feel that, because there's there's definitely something there that you need to transcend. And actually, if you're able, this is a topic for a different video, but if you're able to observe it and not react to it, then that's how you start to shift your neural pathways and you start creating a new state of being. So that's ultimately the goal of meditation. Now, the third thing is exercise. And yes, everybody tells you as well that you should exercise because it has all these countless benefits and you generate endorphins and serotonin and all kinds of things. The thing is, I personally always exercised my entire life because for me, exercise meant staying fit. It was all about my physical appearance. So when I would get depressed, in almost all of my depression episodes, I kind of would just stop caring. I wouldn't care about how I looked. I would just kind of let myself go. And then I realized that no, exercise has so many mental benefits, and that if you're in this really low, debilitated state, you obviously don't really want to work out. It's the last thing you want to do. But actually working out is the thing that gets you out of your bed. It gets you moving. And because of doing that, you start generating the endorphins that actually start making you feel a little bit better in the moment. But even more so, this last few weeks, when I forced myself to exercise, even I think the first time it was like 20 minutes of doing very light. First I was walking, but walking doesn't generate as much endorphins, so running is better if you can do that. But whatever it is, if it's 10 push-ups, whatever it is that you can start doing that. Because once I finished that exercise, I was like, oh my God, I have way more strength in me than I thought I had. I literally felt so debilitated and that I didn't do anything. I wasn't doing anything because I didn't think I had the strength. So once you do it, you're like, oh, okay, I'm actually stronger than I thought. And it's a very rewarding feeling. And that rewarding feeling kind of extends to other parts of your life. You're like, okay, if I can do this, then maybe I can do something else. And then you kind of start regaining your confidence. That's probably the most important thing. You generate all this dopamine, the reward chemical, that helps you start gaining your confidence and your strength for other things, whatever it is that is holding you back at that moment. Then you might be more willing to face that fear. Number 4 is to seek help. Now, if you have started with working on your mindset, if you've been meditating, even if you're not sitting down and meditating, or at least being aware of your thoughts, that's a start, and trying to shift them into the positive state. Like if you do that, I'm happy. And then if you've started exercising, at least going for a walk. Now, seeking help, super important. A lot of people think that they can just do it on their own. And if you can, amazing. But if you can't and you need extra help, I've worked with hundreds of people throughout my life of all kinds, doctors, alternative healers, I've been through to retreats, workshops on self-help, etc. Use the resources that you have. You don't have to go through this alone. Therapy is super important because it will help you process your feelings. It will help you understand what's the root cause, which is really what you want to get to. Medication, I've mentioned in previous videos that I've been taking antidepressants for a long time. Listen, I started taking antidepressants because I didn't have any tools or any other information at that time to help me work through what I was feeling. But I want to point out that like it's not that it's right or wrong to take this medication, but one thing that I want to point out is that you should look at medication for depression as something to help you cope. Sometimes there's a time for it. Sometimes people really need it to even help themselves get out of bed, and that's okay. I would advise that if you're gonna go for medication, that you see this as something temporary to help you get going, help you go through that moment. It's just that medication will not go to the root cause of whatever you're feeling. And that's what we want to get to. That is really the work. As I've been taking medication, it kind of, I realized it just numbed me out. So it was easier to avoid my feelings. But then I realized, okay, the feelings are still there. And once I realized that, after several years, I've started doing a lot of therapy, I've been meditating to try to get to the root cause, and I've been feeling way better now, right? And now I'm in the process of removing the antidepressants, but it's little by little. You have to go through that very slowly. Please never stop antidepressants cold turkey. I did that a few months ago. I cut it in half and it was not a good idea. But had I known everything that I know at this point, I would have gone for alternative therapies like psilocybin. Recently I was trying ketamine therapy, which these are good because they help you access altered state of consciousness, and that way you can start kind of reprogramming your brain. You can do this as well without any substances, any plant medicine or any of that. You can do this purely through meditation, but these sometimes help people get there a little faster. And the fifth and final thing is company. Surround yourself with people who uplift you. The company you keep is contagious. It's so important. Family, friends, your caretakers, your pets, whoever it is, surround yourself with positive energies, because then this happens by osmosis. This is science. You will absorb the energies of these people, and it will just instantly make you feel better. And I know that sometimes this can feel temporary, but if you're always by yourself, kind of drowned in your own negative thoughts, you're gonna amplify that. And that's why I was talking about meditation, about how you need to always redirect your thoughts back. But when we stay by ourselves, then we have more of a chance to keep going on and on about the same things, right? And then we go into the worst case scenarios, and then it just becomes this rabbit hole of negativity plus negativity. And then there's actually studies that say that 9 out of 10 times the things that we worry about never actually happen. So you need to catch yourself and remember that those are just thoughts. It's not really representative of your reality. I'm talking about when you're overthinking, right? So catch yourself, bring yourself back to center, and then know that there is a way out. Trust, surrender, know that things happen for a reason. And what I got out of this time, because when I was going through the withdrawals and this episode, I flew to Peru to be with my family. And it really distracted me from my own misery. And not only did it distract me, because distracting sounds very temporary, but it also exposed me to new perspectives, and it no longer felt like what I was feeling was as terrible. So this is also super important because people will expose you to new ways of thinking, and then you might actually consider solutions that you hadn't before. So anyway, that is all. Of course, there's a million other ways that you can help yourself. I just wanted to bundle it in a little package for you to make it feel a little more actionable, so you can start doing the things, and then start seeing the results. I swear to you, as soon as I started working out, I was like, oh, okay, I have strength. Okay, let me see what else I can do. And then I started meditating, and then I was like, okay, every day was a little bit better, and even if after I was feeling better, then I would feel a little worse. I was like, okay, but maybe today I don't feel as good, but looking back, I can tell that I'm improving. Like my strength is coming back, my thoughts aren't being as negative. So you kind of have to track, right? Like in the long run, how you're improving. And of course, mental health is extremely complex. I am not here to say that this is the solution for everything, but I'm pretty positive that most of these things would work for most people. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video and you want to hear more about my journey with depression and what I think about it and how I approach it, I have another video where I talked about what I was going through at that time a few months ago when the thing with my brother was going on, anyway, as I mentioned, difficult times this year. And if you have any questions, leave them in the comments, and just know again that you can get yourself out, whatever you're going through, there's a way out, and we keep moving forward. Robert Frost has this beautiful quote that says something like, if I can sum up everything that I've learned in life in 3 words, is that it goes on. It's such a simple statement, and it's a good reminder that nothing in life is ever permanent. Think about night and day. There's always a flow, like opposing energies, right? Sometimes you're down here, but eventually you're going to be up here. You're not going to stay down here forever. But it's really up to you also to kind of accelerate that for yourself and get yourself into the mindset to get yourself out of there faster, because you can. So anyway, I hope you feel better really soon, and thank you for watching again. Bye bye.